All right, boys and girls, we're down to our last example of today where we're going to be practicing reducing powers. So if you look on page 386, the formulas above example 4, the power reducing formulas, hopefully you've wrote those down in an index card. If not, refer to those, okay? So we're going to rewrite cosine of fourth power of x and tangent square of x in terms of first powers of the cosine of multiple angles. Basically, we cannot have squares, we cannot have cubes, we cannot have fourth powers, okay? And then the only trig identities that should be left with, or trig functions, should be only cosines. So I shouldn't have any like tangents, any sines, anything, okay? I should only end up with cosines at the very end, okay? So here we go. Again, we're just going to be applying the powers, okay? So I'm going to start with cosine of fourth to the fourth power of x, okay? So here we go. So I'm going to be applying cosine of squared x equals 1 plus cosine of 2u over 2. Okay, let me move that up. The only problem is we're not working with square, we're working with fourth power. So what we need to do is basically raise this to the second power. So I'm going to raise this to the second power. Okay, so now let me show you what I'm going to do. Instead of like squaring anything right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to expand it. So I'm going to rewrite this twice because this to the second power is just this times itself. So ready? So now it's going to look like this. So 1 plus cosine of 2u over 2. And then 1 plus cosine of 2u over 2. So all I did was expand it, okay? And I did it this way on purpose. I moved it a little bit to the left so I can have enough room. So now we're going to go back up. I'm not going to do anything yet. Now I'm going to go back up and I'm going to work with tangent square of x. So if you look at tangent square of x, we're going to be using the property, and I'm going to write it here, okay? So we're going to work with 1 minus cosine of 2u over 1 plus cosine of 2u. And I don't have to do anything because this one's squared. Tangent is squared, so I don't have to like double anything. It's just straightforward, okay? So I'm just going to rewrite it again. Since I expanded this one, then I'm just going to rewrite it below. 1 minus cosine of, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I've been using u, and I should replace all my u's with x's. So let me do that. Sorry. X. Well, I know why I wrote u earlier, but I'm going to do that, okay? And I did it here and I did it here. Sorry, hopefully I'm not confusing anybody. Let me put that. Okay, just replace my u's with x. Remember, u is just a variable, so you can replace that with whatever variable you're working with. 1 plus cosine of 2x, okay? Now, just by looking at this, these are all fractions, okay? The one thing that should stand out is that you should be able to cross cancel. 1 plus cosine of 2x and this 1 plus of cosine of 2x. So this is just 1 and this becomes 1. Okay, so now let me rewrite it, and let me use my other whiteboard just to show you guys. Okay, so basically what I'm left with, and 1 plus cosine of 2x times 1. This is my numerator. 1 plus cosine of 2x times 1, which will just give me that, times 1 minus cosine of 2x. Okay. My denominator, let me move this up. 2 times 2 times 1, which is just 4. Okay, so now I have that. Okay, now what's next? We're going to do FOIL. Okay. So ready? I'm actually going to go through this one with you so you don't get confused. This is first. So that's 1. Outer. Negative cosine 2 of x. Okay, now inner. Positive cosine 2 of x. And then last. Ready? Negative cosine 2 of x and we want to square it. So I'm going to square it here. Now, we're not squaring the angle. We're squaring cosine. So leave your angle there, okay? Again, we're not squaring the angle. We're squaring cosine. So one of the things you'll notice is your middle terms will cancel out. So we're just left with 1 minus cosine squared of 2x all over 4, okay? And be careful, try not to use your algebraic properties so that you're not confusing by squaring the angle. Remember, we're just squaring cosine. Okay, so here we go. So now we're left with 1 minus cosine squared of 2x over 4. But here's the deal, guys. Cosine squared, we need to get rid of that property, okay?